Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi. Today we're going to take a look at a movement out of an old kata. Some people say that this might be the fourth lost kata of the Pangai Nun system, or Weichi-Ryu as it's known here in the United States and all over the world, by the introduction of Pangai Nun to Okinawa by Company Weichi. Anyway, this form was brought from southern China, Kyusho, China, and was brought by a man, or found by a man called Simon Laley, who resides in the UK, spread here in New England, and who I learned it from was Bill Glasheen, high level in Weichi-Ryu Karate under George Mattson in the New England area here. Anyway, excuse me, Virginia. Sorry about that, Bill. Anyway, the movement of the kata that I'm going to explore today with you is a movement where the hands come out this way with the shoken, okay, and then comes up again. All right, now there are three of these movements, and it does it in three different directions. All right, now this has three different applications immediately that comes to mind. Now, the movement where the hands come together, it is in the beginning of the form too, as part of the original bow, as you want to call that. Okay, now let me go into three different ideas for this movement with the shoken and the palm, or the iron palm and the shoken, which I believe emanated from the single bladed grasp of the bubishi. So you have two bubishi hands, or two Chinese hands, or two Shaolin hands. All right. Now, as we're doing this, instead of thinking of the obvious shoken movement or the jabbing movement, what we need to take into account is every movement has a yin and yang aspect. So what if this wasn't a pushing type of an action? What happens if it was a grasping type of an action, where you close the fingers into the shoken? Okay, and this is expressed on an earlier video on YouTube here that I will show the link below in this description. Anyway, as we're going into this first movement and we're grabbing, I focus on my thumb, okay, and I'm grabbing right into this carotid area where the thumb would dig in behind it, you'd secure it and pull. Now, as you're doing that, you would push the head back. So you're grabbing at the throat level, you're pushing the head back. That would cause more disruption and more tearing of that vessel, that blood vessel, or damage to the nerves, or stretching of the nerves. In any effect, that will really hurt the person. Doesn't take a lot of distance. You can reach up and just push the person's head back. The second application we can do is we can go for the middle, where we have equal pressure on both the thumb and the index finger, where we grab the windpipe, secure behind the windpipe, and again push the person's head back to pull the windpipe forward or out toward us and back away from the opponent. Some would say tearing the throat out. I kind of tend to doubt that you're going to pull the guy's throat out like that Roadhouse movie. I think you're just going to damage the windpipe and cause a lot of distress, probably even a heart attack, because you're going to be attacking the vagal nerves if you go in that deep and that seriously. Now, the third application is going to be where we put the power on the index finger. We had it from the thumb on this side, we had it from the both fingers on the middle. Now we're going in to latch onto that carotid sinus or vagal nerve, or whatever we can get back there on this side of the throat. So we'd grab it again and pull. So again, the opening, excuse me, the opening bow, and these three movements coming in and pulling. It pushes and pulls and it pushes again. So you would be pulling, okay, and causing distress to it. Pulling, causing more distress. Pulling, causing more distress, all as the palm is coming forward as well. So there's my read on that part of Suparempi. I have been working this since I learned it from Glasheen Sensei. I think it was around 2000, 2001, somewhere in that area. I've been working on it daily, along with the other three main katas of Pangai Nun, or Weichi-Ryu, of Sanshin, Seisan, and Sansei-Ryu, and adding, of course, the Suparempi. If you look back on the discussion I had with Sensei Mattson, or Hanshi Mattson, I'll put that link below too. We discussed it briefly, and my thoughts are it fits the Weichi system, or the Pangai Nun system, beautifully, and it's it's all up to the person's individual interpretation, whether they want to keep it and retain it and get the worth out of it. For me, it's the last hand. It works on the last hand and some of the dragon concepts. The tiger and the crane are prominently displayed in Weichi. Not too many people go into the dragon aspects of it. And what this does for me is it also helps me learn the sixth hand of the 6G hands, or the Shaolin hands that are in the Bubishi, that being the iron palm. So throughout this form, that's pretty prominent, as is the shokin, or this grasping action of the shokin, or going from the single blade of grass into that shokin, that morphing that probably happened over time because the finger conditioning to really attack with this as a ballistic attack was difficult, long, and probably injurious to a lot of people. So there's my take. I look forward to talking to Hanshi Matson again on his views with this, and maybe that'll happen in the future. Let's see. You take care now.